Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Party Chat, our community Q&A. Thank you all for being here. My name is Ben Hansen. I'm joined by Leo Vader. Welcome.
Thank you. And
if you're looking at the right-hand side of the screen, you're saying, what is this exactly? This is Party Chat, which is our Patreon exclusive podcast. If you're a supporter of MinnMax on Patreon, at the $5 tier, you unlock this full bonus podcast each and every week. And if you really want to help support independent games media, which we would deeply appreciate, you can become a MinnMax Council supporter at that $20 tier, even just for 1 month. If you want to throw a 1 month thank you, we'd appreciate it. And then you can literally jump in here in the Discord, and these are MinnMax Council supporters, and you can jump up to that tier and literally podcast with us each and every week through the whole stages system in Discord. Don't be confused by it. It's not that bad, right, Leo?
I get it.
All right, thank you. People are commenting on my gosh darn head is shaved. Thanks to generous donors during Extra Life. Yes, truly, it is November, the sign of the times. It feels wonderful. We're going to be talking about Extra Life on this very show with the community, just as a test case. Could you flick your hand on and off, people, the MinnMax Council tier, if you want to unpack Extra Life with us? Okay, great. We got some folks. Fantastic. Leo, before we get to that, that's going to be in the later on in the show. But for this section, we should have our live reactions to the Game Awards nominations. Are you down for that?
Yeah, sure.
Great. I really haven't looked at any of these. I'm assuming you haven't either, Leo.
I've only seen the lack of Vampire Survivors discourse.
Interesting. I haven't even seen that. I love it. Throw your hand in the air, everybody. Or how about you flick your hand on and off if you want to join us to talk about the Game of the Year nominations from the Game Awards. Okay. Oh, we got some folks. We've got some folks.
Boy.
Oh, this is going to be a scorcher. I haven't even opened this email. Hello, Kath. Welcome to Party Chat. You want to talk about the Game of the Year nominations?
Of course. That's one of my favorite time of the year.
Hell yeah. Danny Phantom, welcome. Do you want to talk about the Game of the Year nominations?
I do. Are you allowed to talk about the Game Award nominations, sitting around the voting body?
Yes. Leo, we cannot talk about deadlines. We can't talk about our choices. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So, Leo,
Sure.
if you're tempted to talk about that, you can't talk about it. Because, yeah, MinnMax is on the big nomination process and all that fun stuff. King Prometheus, welcome to the show.
Greetings.
Greetings. Leafeon, welcome to the show. Well, see if your mic gets worked out. Neil Smith, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello, hello. All right, I'm opening this email and we can unpack exactly what we got here.
Why are we calling this Party Chat instead of email reacts?
Oh, that's
like that'll get more clicks.
Question. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We can rework it, man. Let's see. Yeah, we'll put it to a Twitter poll, just renaming all of our shows whatever you want. Game of the Year nominations. The email's opening with that biggie. Should we just jump into this whole frickin' thing?
Jump in.
All right, Game of the Year nominations, everybody. A Plague Tale Requiem. Game of the Year nomination. That's huge. That's huge.
Right?
I didn't expect that at all. There's definitely a lot of passionate people out there. We had one new supporter, I'm sorry to forget their name, who supported us on Patreon just so they could send me the message directly saying, I'm blowing it. Very politely, I'm blowing it. I need to finish that game because it is so damn good. So is anybody here a huge Plague Tale fan? That's what
but I wish I played it.
Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. That's the point of the Game of the Year nominations. It might get on more people's radar.
I tried to play it. The rats freaked me so much that I couldn't. Like, I had goosebumps the whole time.
Oh no, little rat bumps.
Understandable.
I have it downloaded. I just haven't touched it yet.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, everybody. You can check it out at some point. We also have Elden Ring nominated for Game of the Year. God of War Ragnarok nominated for Game of the Year. Horizon Forbidden West.
Whoa.
Yeah, what's up?
You just skipped past the elephant in the room.
Will
you finish Elden Ring before the end of the year?
It's not even an elephant in the room, man. It's like a tiny picture of an elephant on a wall because it ain't no issue. I'm finishing Elden Ring for the year. That's right. I'm finishing it. Moving on. We also got, I love this, Stray. Game of the Year nominee. That's
wow.
Incredible.
Do you look at these and I wonder which of the outlets were pushing for that?
Yeah, I do. And again, we cannot reveal what we submitted along this way, but I am fascinated by that. Tell us, Keely. Release the stats, baby. We have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 also nominated for Game of the Year, which, congratulations. I think that's going to make a lot of people very happy beyond just Kelsey Lewin And I guess Jeff Markiafava also is, he's been streaming a lot of that on MinnMax's Twitch channel. He might be a secret ringer for pushing for Xenoblade in our 210s debate at the end of the year, Leo. So look alive for that, man.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, crazy to think we got 2 JRPGs nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah, I guess that is true. Yeah, that is wild. That kind of ties in a little bit to the upcoming episode of the MinnMax Show podcast. This week, based on a suggestion from Leo, the idea is the theme for the podcast this week is going to be game. How would you phrase it, Leo? You're smarter than I am.
Game of the Year debate, essentially hype building. That's certainly a component of it. But it's like we always do 2-part Game of the Year debates.
Yeah.
And we come back and say, oh, I tried that one. Somebody was pitching really hard last year. I agree. That should be on here. And I just thought we should do that part earlier so we have more time to get to more games that are going to be in those discussions. So this will be essentially like a prologue to the Game of the Year debates.
Yeah. Hang on. Write that down, Leo. That's a good name for the headline even. Yeah, it's just so we can say like, hey, I'm going to be pushing for this game. Jeff, I really think you should play this thing if it's on somebody's radar. And so we'll see who's going to be jumping on and all that stuff. But right now it's going to be Leo and Kyle and Janet and I kind of giving through not quite like the under the radar games of the year, underappreciated games of the year, but it feels ballparky close to that because it's just going to be us recommending stuff that is going to be relevant for the 210s debate.
And there's a threat element. It's unless you want to just listen to me
Yes.
prattle on monologuing about this game.
Yep.
Chris prattle on.
That's right. By the way, let me know if you want to stop and talk about any of these nominations. Best Game Direction, which is always a confusing one. Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality made it on, Leo, for Best Game Direction.
Good.
And Stray. I always wonder if this category is just like, do we know the name of the game director or creative director? Then 100%. It'll be on this list. Best Narrative, A Plague Tale Requiem. Way to go, Plague Tale. Elden Ring.
That was shocking to me.
Elden Ring, ladies and gentlemen.
George R.R. Martin for that?
Yeah, we were having a big discussion about this in the Game Award nominations channel in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty spicy take. My take was that it shouldn't have been nominated because if you, as a common player, get like 0.5% of the story, right, and you play it all the way through, and then you need multiple half-an-hour videos that had hours of research just to tell you what the story actually was. Mm-hmm. I don't think that should be nominated for a Best Narrative. Even when you do have the story out there and you know what it is, which I think it's a fantastic story, I don't think it was a Best Narrative in a game story, just because of all those, obstacles to get there.
I concur with Leafeon. It should not have have a narrative. It just the narrative wasn't there at all. And that was like my first WTF on the list of nominees.
It stands out to me a little bit as well, but I guess you know what? If you guys can't handle subtlety, that's your own problem.
Gamer Freak in the Twitch chat has a good point that narrative and lore aren't the same thing. That seems to be the distinction.
That they aren't or are the same thing in your mind, Leo?
Are not the same thing.
Yeah. I think that's true. Yeah, if it was best lore, I totally get it. But Starkiller,
I do think best setting should be a category.
Like best world building or something.
Yeah,
I would love that.
And that could also, include like environmental artists too. Mm-hmm. That encompasses a lot of actual tangible things in a video game. I think that would be a great category. We do have awards at MinnMax, Lee. It's always the question of, is it worth adding another one to the docket, because that episode's already going to be like 4 hours long for the special categories. But Starkiller, welcome to the party chat, baby.
Hey, I was just gonna throw out game narrative of Immortality compared to Elden Ring of level of obtuseness.
Oh, Elden Ring takes it absolutely.
I was going to say that exact same thing. That if you apply that rubric of like how well the average player is going to pick up all the narrative elements and put them together, Immortality can be pretty opaque. I'd say on the same tier.
I don't think on the same tier, but I do think it is in a ballpark of there's layers that you probably will absolutely miss. But yeah, just to finish off this list, it's also God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West, and then Immortality. Oof. I don't know. Yeah, we'll save predictions maybe for a later thing, but I'm curious to see where that goes. Best Art Direction. This is kind of getting some of that environment stuff, Leafy, on here. We got Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, Scorn. Way to go, Scorn. And Stray. All right. Best Score in Music, we have Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger. Way to go, Metal Hellsinger. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Hell yeah, way to go, Mitsuda.
Are we calling out snubs?
Yeah, sure. What do you think?
Citizen Sleeper definitely should have been nominated for narrative and score.
I think that's right.
Also, Shovel Knight Dig, another Jake Kaufman soundtrack. Completely snubbed.
The downside is that game is called Citizen Sleeper. But yeah, we should. That's one.
Here's a question for the panel: Is Citizen Sleeper hurt by the fact that so many people responded to it by saying, "But I don't want to read"?
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. I don't think Jacob Geller. He's out of town, so he's not going to be on the podcast this week. But it seems like that's one that he would be screaming about that we all probably need to spend more time with. Leo, did you check out Citizen Sleeper much?
Yeah, I beat it.
Oh, great. All right. Well, maybe you'll be championing that. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
If reading was a disqualifying factor, then I don't think Elden Ring would be up there for best narrative either. You have to read all of that lore, all of that story.
What if that was just in the fine print for the Game Awards nominations? As Jeff Keighley just writes, by the way, reading is a disqualifying factor. Enjoy, everybody.
And Ring is short for reading.
That's right. It was originally called Ring Rainbow. Best audio design, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, and Horizon Forbidden West. All right. Best performance, very interested in this. Ashley Birch from Horizon Forbidden West. Charlotte McBurney for Plague Tale Requiem, Christopher Judge for God of War Ragnarok, Manon Gage from Immortality, otherwise known as Main Lady, and then Sunny from God of War Ragnarok as well, who I believe is Atreus. Games for Impact. This one's always a little bit confusing. Oh, yeah.
I did want to talk about best performance for a second.
Please.
I guess this is more talk about just God of War in general.
Easy. Spoiler.
I know,
easy.
no, this isn't spoilers,
Okay.
but I am honestly kind of surprised that Sonny Suliuk is nominated because he's probably the weakest part of the game for me, his acting wise.
You're saving my hot take for the deepest dive. I absolutely have that thought as well.
Okay.
So far,
yeah, but I do
yeah.
think Christopher Judge has one of the best video game performances I've seen in a long time, and I'm like 33 hours in, so I've seen a lot.
I was just about to ask. I'm curious how far each of you are because I'm past the first stopping point for the deepest dive, and obviously no spoilers. But
yeah.
I do like Sunny more the more the game goes on.
I
like,
could see it being one of those. Yep. I was kind of bracing for that too, but so far I'm with Leafeon for sure. Games for Impact. We have A Memoir Blue, As Dusk Falls, Citizen Sleeper, Endling, Extinction is Forever, Hindsight, and I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Leo, you like these games?
Have I heard of any of them?
Come on, man.
You beat one of them, allegedly.
Citizen Sleeper.
Oh, yeah. That impacted me.
All right, there we go. Best ongoing game, Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. I think it's tough not to give it to Fortnite this year. I know it's weird, but
Fortnite always be there.
I think it will.
For Destiny on this one.
Okay, stand for Destiny. That's fair. All
and
right.
if Sarah was here, she would be screaming about Final Fantasy.
There's no doubt she would be screaming about Final Fantasy.
I think Fortnite will always be here, and it will always be impossible to beat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just unfair. It's just the amount of resources and the amount of players.
But especially this year with like the no build mode, I feel like it's got a whole new wave of players, and so that's
every year it deserves it.
Yeah, I think you're probably
and the
right.
Dragon Ball Z update too.
I was gonna say there was a whole season or a couple weeks where you could just come at people.
That was a great time in society. Best indie, however you want to define that: Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. I love that.
To define it as yet another Citizen Sleeper.
Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah,
Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb.
Cult of the Lamb. Okay, all right.
Yeah, we were having a big debate about this in the the Discord channel for awards, and I mean it's so hard to compare. I say this every year, but it's so hard to compare indie games with AAA games like God of War or Elden Ring. Like comparing Stray to Elden Ring is such a difficult task, and I feel like it shouldn't be done. Which is why I think IGFs should just kind of be the go-to for indie awards. I mean, they are, but I feel like having a separate category for indie for the game awards is kind of, I don't know, moot.
Well, it's nice to highlight them in some way, but it is confusing then, especially because we also have best debut indie. And so these nominations
Well,
are.
there are some indeed that like are long or like are ongoing, and I think that's what they meant. The difference.
What's your difference?
Well, there are some that might have come after the Game Award, but not this year.
Oh, yeah, because it's wrapping up some stuff from last year that didn't quite make that cut.
Yeah.
So Neon White is in here for Best Debut Indie. Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. It is one of those of like the definition is a little confusing. It's like Neon White. It's like, is it that team? I guess Angel Matrix. It's the first time there, but the creative director had worked on other stuff before. So I guess maybe if it's the team's fresh first game, but I think Vampire Survivors might take it for that.
Yeah, I think if they get credit anywhere, I think it's going to be here.
Yeah. Best Community Support. Oh, interesting. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, No Man's Sky. That's going to be interesting to distinguish from ongoing game because it kind of feels like...
Did we skip over Best Mobile Game?
I don't think so. At least not in the... Nope, that's coming up next. Here you got Best Mobile Game, Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Tower of Fantasy.
Marvel Snap.
It's Marvel Snap, without a doubt.
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's Marvel Snap.
Okay, well...
Devil's Advocate, is that just recency bias? Is everyone forgetting how much they absolutely loved... okay, I got nothing.
No. I think
honestly, it's the only mobile game that I'm playing that I'm still playing after a week. So
it's the only mobile game I've ever gotten into.
Yeah,
put money into it
in a serious way.
All right, we'll see. I wonder if the groundswell of Marvel Snap is peaking. Well, maybe not peaking, but still climbing right now. But when people were actually submitting these things, who can say? Best VR/AR, After the Fall, Among Us VR, Bone Lab, Moss Book 2, and Red Matter 2. There we go. Best action game.
Tragic, The Last Clockwinder isn't on there.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Where you're like making clones of yourself and throwing stuff around and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, better believe it. Best action, we have Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and TMNT Shredder's Revenge. That's a funny one for best action, but I love it. Best action adventure, A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. Best role.
No Kirby?
Whoa!
No Kirby!
No Kirby.
Yeah.
No Kirby!
Well, Kirby, there is that family game or whatever. That seems like a lock there, but...
I was having a conversation earlier with someone about the distinction between action, adventure, and action. Yeah. Because the conversation that I was specifically having was that they enjoy... they think that Bayonetta and other Platinum games, but specifically Bayonetta 3, is a better game than God of War Ragnarok, simply because of the combat, and that they're basically the same genre. And it's kind of... You can't really... say that they're the same genre because of obvious reasons. Their combats focus on completely different aspects, but the fact that you can combo and play them in kind of the same way, I feel like having Bayonetta not as an action adventure is more weird to me than not having God of War Ragnarok as an action game.
Right.
That makes sense.
It is. I mean, it's a fine line. It's confusing for sure. Best role
I'm
playing.
really surprised how much Stray gets credit, because for me it was like, I think I'm in the minority that adored this game, and I felt like the community is kind of down or meh about it. So even if it doesn't win, I'm so happy to see it there and in other categories, because that video game's still in my mind right now.
No, it's slaying. I mean, the reviews I don't think were off the charts, but on Steam, I think it was like the highest reviewed game ever at a certain point. It's still, I think, sitting at like overwhelmingly positive. So I think there is, even if it's not 1-to-1 with the Metacritic score, I feel like there's a groundswell of love for Stray out there, and it's really represented here. Best role playing, Elden Ring, Live Alive, woo! Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That's a great run of games. I think Elden Ring is a lock. Best fighting game.
What do you think of? What do you think about Live Alive being up here?
I love that. The remake thing, is that confusing?
Yeah, the remake thing. Yeah.
I think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has a pretty good shot at taking the role playing game of the year
over Elden Ring.
I was going to say Xenoblade as well. Yeah, because Xenoblade is it's a completely different kind of RPG than Elden Ring is, right? I think if Xenoblade does get some credit, it should be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like I'll stand for Legends Arceus. That's probably gonna be my GOTY, but Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a far superior RPG in a lot of aspects.
Yeah,
and I know Elden Ring's gonna win Game of the Year. I think it's gonna sweep up a couple others, but I think Xenoblade's gonna beat it out for role-playing Game of the Year.
Yeah, if people are just looking at that exact name. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Live Alive, yeah, it's interesting. The fact that, it came to the West this year with the form of this remake, I think, it's fine on this list, but it is one of those things like, wait, are remakes included in this overall? But I love it here. Best fighting game, DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, The King of Fighters 15, Multiverses, and Sifu. I wonder if Multiverses would take it.
I think it would, just because of popularity.
Yeah, fighting game, yeah.
Have we ever just had a single player linear game where you do fighting be in a fighting game
That's
category?
a good question.
Like Sifu?
I have to look in the history. I don't know. Yeah, it definitely stands out with Sifu. Best family.
That's just like a brawler, really.
Yeah. Best family game, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. It's about families fighting Star Wars. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, Splatoon 3. Kirby versus Splatoon versus Mario and Rabbids, that might actually be a pretty close race.
I think Kirby will take it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
shocked
Kirby will
this
take
is
it.
Kirby's only.
Bob, you're cutting out.
I adored that game. I don't know. It's
Honestly,
bizarre.
Kirby should have gotten Best Narrative over Elden Ring.
Yeah, but again, the lore, you gotta watch a 30-minute lore recap just to understand what was happening with that ending. Best Sim and Strategy, Dune Spice Wars, a game that I keep telling myself to play. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Total War Warhammer 3, 2 Point Campus, and Victoria 3. I don't know Victoria 3. I didn't even know Victoria 2.
Yeah, it came out pretty recently. I saw some people talking about it.
I think this category will come down between Rabbids and Total Warhammer. That's a really, really odd matchup.
And I think a lot more people who are voting probably played Rabbids. So I think this might be the Rabbids category. Best
Just want to pop in real quick about Dune. I wasn't aware of it until very recently, but apparently it's coming to PC Game Pass at some point in the near future.
Okay. That's good to know for sure. Best sports / racing, F1 22, FIFA 23, NBA 2K 23, Gran Turismo 7, Ollie Ollie World. It's cool for Ollie Ollie to get in there.
Yeah, Ollie Ollie Worlds, I feel like gonna win this. A lot of people, I'm shocked FIFA is nominated because that had some of the most vitriol I've seen for a game this year.
Yeah.
I mean, like MLB The Show snubbed again once, but yeah.
Yeah, the sports sim never wins the sports racing game. It's always, the Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing, those types of games. The sports sim never wins. So I fully expect Ollie Ollie World to take this one.
I think it could, yeah. Best multiplayer is Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, everybody. Splatoon 3 and TMNT Shredder's Revenge. Again, I love that TMNT is sneaking in here. I think that's a cool place for it. Best or most anticipated, Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and Tears of the Kingdom. What do you think's taking it, Leo?
Resident Evil 4.
Really? Over Breath of the Wild sequel?
I can't remember the first two you say. You say them really fast, and then I forget what the first two were and what the category was.
Okay, great. It was best mobile game, but you're going with Resident Evil 4?
Great. I stand by it, yeah.
Okay, cool. Content Creator of the Year, Carl Jacobs, Ludwig, Nebellion. On Twitter, sharing the gaming news, No Brew and QT Cinderella. I don't know anybody but Nebellion, but I think that's a nice tip of the cap. Seemed like Nebellion was pretty down and out when they signed off of Twitter, saying, I'm out, tried to launch a Patreon, didn't really work that well, so I'm going away. So I bet this makes them feel good. Does anybody else know any other content creators here that they're fans of?
Well, I was going to ask, does this put Wario64 in the running for next year?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess he's always in the running. Everybody's always in the running. Sorry, Leo. Did a part of you think in the back of your mind, like, I wonder if I'd win this?
No.
Okay, cool. Thank you for not having that ego. Best adaptation, Arcane, League of Legends, Cyberpunk, Edgerunners, Cuphead Show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Uncharted. Arcane.
Yeah, Arcane,
right?
yeah.
Arcane,
I would like to see Edgerunners win it.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That might be closer than you think. Innovation and accessibility, As Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, Last of Us Part 1, and The Quarry. Yeah, probably between the Sony games here. And Last of Us versus God of War, I'd be curious to see. Best esports game, Counter-Strike Go, Dota 2, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Valorant. Best esports athlete, They put athlete in quotes, which I think is in poor taste. No, they didn't.
I'm not seeing it in quotes on the
I know,
website.
that was just a dumb joke. Look, no one has to be a professional comedian here. Chuvy, Faker, Kerrigan, Simple, and Yay. Parentheses, the good Yay. So, all right, best of luck to them. Best esports team, Dark Zero Esports, FaZe Clan, Gen G, LA Thieves. You can't have Thieves, can't give them an award. And Loud. Best esports coach is Blade, Bazooka, Doom Bros, Raba N, and Score. And best esports event is EVO 2022, League of Legends World Championship, PGL Major Antwerp 2022 Midseason Invitational, Valorant Champions 2022, and MinnMax's Extra Life 2022 stream. All right, hey, that's it. Yeah, there we go.
I want to ask a quick question real quick about that last section of the nominations.
Yeah.
I saw something that you can't skip a category if you're voting. And I know that there isn't a ton of esports representation at MinnMax.
Right.
So I'm curious what your plan is to do about that last esports section.
That's a great question. I would love to answer this. Since it's our first year in the category or in the nomination process, I'm erring on the side of not saying anything, but I don't know. I'd be curious, double check the rules and how they phrase it on Game Awards' site, I guess is how I'd phrase it. Because I don't know.
I don't think you're in the jury for that one because it shows on the jury section, a whole different section for esports.
Interesting. So yeah, check out the official wording from the Game Awards, but that seems fair.
How did the nominations happen regarding you guys, though? Were the judges polled for just Game of the Years and then they determined nominations from the votes? Or were you guys polled for nominations and then will be polled again for Game of the Year?
No. So I think we just toss, as far as I understand it, we give them our list of nominations, and then I think it's from that list they figure out the total based on that, and then whatever has the most nominations wins, I believe is how it works, as far as I understand it. As far as I understand it, but I could be wrong. We haven't really done this before. People are asking as well if we're going to be attending the Game Awards in person. In theory, Janet Garcia is, because she's already in LA, so she's probably going to be going there, and she can give us a hot report from the ground. And it's tied to something else, but there was an opportunity, actually, for me to go as well. But Leo, I don't know if this is absurd, but I was like, I don't really want to go. I'd rather, honestly, stream reactions with you and Sarah in the studio again, if we can do that. Because it seems more fun than not sharing a reaction and just sitting in a crowd with a fancy shirt on, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Leo. All right, that's the Game Awards, everybody. We'll see how it all shakes out, and you can stay tuned for MinnMax's Game Awards. The 210s, our full list, all that fun stuff is going to be happening throughout all of December. You know, we've been talking a little bit about how we shake things up, whether or not we include the contributors. Yeah, it seems like some of the contributors, or at least, are very keen on being in on those discussions, so it seems rude to just block people out because they're not a cohort. So we'll probably include as many people as want to be included in there, even if that means that we're probably going to have some longer discussions this year overall. But we'll try and make it listenable and fun and all that good stuff. Yeah, y'all want to talk about Extra Life?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, just a reminder, this was Party Chat, which is our bonus podcast. It's in the bonus podcast feed. If you're a Patreon supporter, if you've enjoyed MinnMax throughout the years, you want to help support independent games media, and you want a bonus behind-the-scenes discussion each and every week in your favorite podcast app, and there's a bunch of other stuff in there. Our interviews are in there. The deepest dives are in there. Max spoilies are in there. Commentary tracks are in there, so you can more than double the amount of podcasts you get from MinnMax each and every week by supporting us at that $5 tier over on Patreon. Help us hit our goal, everybody, please. We're getting so close to our holiday feast goal where we'll have a bonus stream and a bunch of wine and holiday food and get together in the MinnMax studio around the table. So help us hit that. We'd appreciate it. Thanks so much, folks. If you thought, hey, this video wasn't bad, well, there's a whole lot more like it on MinnMax's YouTube channel. Please help us out by subscribing to our channel and checking out the MinnMax Show podcast, also available on your favorite podcast app, the best, most thorough discussion about games on the internet with the deepest dive, our monthly community trivia show with prizes called Trivia Tower, and a whole lot more. Thanks so much for your support, everybody. All you gotta do is click that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it.